when I do a training, I do it on like either branding or social media or misconceptions, mostly for network marketers, because that's where I came from and that's what I spent 5 years doing. For those of you that do not know me, I retired from network marketing 6 months ago to co-found a technology company that it is tokenizing real world assets. So super excited about that. I also, God called me into coaching and I didn't want to do it, but God said, with everything that I've given you and what you were able to figure out, I want you to teach other people how to do it. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and I honestly love doing what I do. I was able to sponsor more than 2,500 people in 4.5 years in my network marketing career, all from a cold market without a single cold message. So that's kind of my background. I was a top earner in 4 different companies, #1 recruiter, broke company records. But today, we're not going to talk about that. Today, we're going to talk about something that is much more important. Much more important than money, much more important than titles. Like I have a, what is it called? It's not a chest. Is a, I don't know. Something in my dining room table that I cannot think about right now because I've been like immersing myself in this training all morning. And I have all my trophies in there, which is really cool to see because my trophies are a way for my children to visualize what I did for almost 5 years. So this is more important than that. This is more important than making the money. Like this is soul stuff. And I don't share my masterminds to the public. I usually never do that, but God was like, you need to make this public because so many people struggle with this. So with that said, we're just going to get right into it. We're going to talk about how you find your passion, how do you find your purpose and your calling, because 99% of people, that is what they struggle with. And whatever it is that you do, okay, that is your vehicle to make an income for your family, okay? That is not necessarily what your purpose in life is as a whole. I know it's really difficult for people to actually grasp that and comprehend that, but it's going to make sense to you in a minute, okay? So what are your talents and abilities? These are things that you need to be asking yourself. What are my natural given talents and abilities, right? I grew up thinking like, I don't have any talents and abilities. I did gymnastics for a really long time, and I cheered in middle school, high school, won the national championships, got a scholarship to cheer for college and never did it. But I didn't feel like I was great at it. You know what I mean? There was nothing in my life that I could pinpoint to that I was like really good at. And I know that's like a lot of people. There's not like Michael Phelps, like he's great at what he does, like the one thing that you're extraordinary in. I never had that, right? So I looked at other people and I was like, from a very young age, there were so many people that just, it seemed like they had a calling on their lives, like a giftedness that I could not find. And I didn't realize what my giftedness was until I rededicated my life to the Lord when I was 19 years old and I went to Bible college. That's when I realized, like, I understand biblical concepts, and I've always understood it at a very, very young age, being a baby Christian, that most people that had been walking with the Lord for a really long time did not. That's when I realized that I was different, right? So what are your talents and abilities? What naturally comes, like what it naturally comes to you that you do really, really well? And it doesn't have to be the way that the world tells you that it should be. What are you inclined to do? And now that doesn't mean that you're going to set out to do it and you're going to be great at it when you first start. That means you're inclined to do it. That means it's the heart stuff that pulls you to those certain things that you're inclined to do. But you're always going to start as an amateur. You're not going to start as a pro. And this is where so many people just quit pursuing things that they are interested in and inclined to do and good at, but they're not like the best at it because they think that should be a pro. Like if it's a life calling, right? Then as soon as you do it, then you should just be a pro at it. And that's a lie. That's not the truth, because even if you're good at it and it's your calling and you're inclined to do so, you're still going to have to walk through the journey of becoming the best at that. It doesn't happen just because it is your calling or it is your gifting or your passion. That comes with repetition. That comes with discipline. Okay? When finding your passion, you need to figure out where your spiritual gifts are. Okay? And this is like nothing new for people that follow me. I don't separate my faith from anything that I do, because my faith is who I am. Like I'm not Lighty, like social media presence, and then it's like my faith over here, and then it's like my family life. Like my life is my life. It is who I am. So God is at the center of everything that I do because it's who I am. My faith is not something that I practice. My faith is who I am. So finding out your spiritual gifts and the way that God created you and the way that he made you, it's for a purpose. Like you are not an accident. You have a purpose to fulfill while you're on this earth. I was listening today to Mel Robbins, which I love listening to all the time. Okay. And she said, there's like all these scientists put together the probability of you being born, of you being on this earth. And the probability of you being on this earth and you being born, you specifically, it is 1 in 400 trillion. So don't tell me that you don't have a specific purpose, that you don't have a specific calling in your life, that you're just here to like do a job that's like a 9 to 5 that doesn't really fulfill you, or you went to college but you're doing stuff that you don't want to do because, and that's your purpose. Like at the end of your life, you're just like gonna die, like all of us will, right? And then there's no fulfillment in your life, that something that you truly wanted to do to change the world. That's crazy. 1 in 400 trillion. Without knowing how God wired you, you will not walk in your purpose. Thus, passion isn't a lifestyle for you. When you are walking in your purpose, your body, your mind, and your soul knows it. Let me ask you a question. Do you wake up in the morning and feel energized about what you're doing every single day? Let me say that again. Do you wake up in the morning and feel energized about what you're doing every single day? And we'll come back to that question, because how do you find your passion in life? You find your passion in life by realizing what is it that energizes me, because passion equals energy. So how do you find your passion in life? Figure out what energizes you. If there's things in your life that you're doing and they energize you, continue to do them. If there's things in your life that are taking away from that energy, then get rid of those things, because those things will not fulfill your destiny. That is when you work within your purpose, when you figure out what you're passionate about, when you figure out what energizes you naturally. Okay, I'm an introvert. So being around people does not energize me. Okay, so that's just the way that I was created. I'm not going to change the way that I get energized. I can change the way that I control my mindset when I am in a group of people to be continuously engaged in the conversation and present, which is what I have to work at because I'm not naturally good at it. Right? So you need to understand yourself in order to understand what is it that energizes me. Like there's people that being by themselves and reading a book or listening to podcasts or whatever it is that they do by themselves does not energize them because they have to be around other people in order to get energy from them. They're extroverts. I'm not an extrovert. So figure out how it is that you function as a human being, because you were created that way for a reason, and the way that you were created goes hand in hand with your purpose. So let's go back to, do you wake up every single morning and feel energized about what you're doing? Do you ask yourself, what can I do today that will energize me? I avoid things that do not energize me like the plague. I don't want things in my life, the older I get, that do not energize me, because I don't have the time to waste. Like, time is a luxury in my world. There is nothing that I value more in the earthly realm than my time. I have 5 children. Those 5 children are homeschooled. I've been married for almost 11 years. I have a family. I have 6 dogs. I have 30 chickens. Like, time is not something that I have to just throw out there, right? I'm going to be 35 this month. Like, we got to change this world. Let's get to it, right? So do you ask yourself every morning, what can I do today that will energize me? So for example, giving and blessing people energizes me. Teaching energizes me. Those are part of my spiritual gifts, right? Teaching is part of my spiritual gift. Prophecy is part of my spiritual gift. So when I bless and when I give people, that's why in my community, I always go above and beyond. And people have a fraction. Other people that have been coaching for 3, 4, 5 years have a fraction of what I have in that community. Because giving energizes me, going above and beyond to make sure other people have the tools to be able to do what I've done and live the way that I do energizes me. So I want to do more of that. And that's how I start living in my purpose, and I figure out what my calling is, because I'm going to do more of what energizes me. And that's talking about the soul stuff, okay? That's not talking about fleeting stuff. That's talking about peace. That's talking about joy. That's talking about fulfillment. How many of you can say that you live in perfect peace? If that's you, drop me a 1 below. If you live in perfect peace, drop me a 1 below. That's what I'm pursuing. I want perfect peace in my life. I want to walk with God in perfect peace. And how many of you can say that you're struggling with anxiety, fear, depression, or you have struggled with it within the past 2 months? Drop me a 2 below. I want you to see the contrast between people that walk in perfect peace and the amount of people that are struggling with fear, with anxiety, and with depression. It's insane how many people I've talked to that are multi-millionaires and they're full of fear, anxiety, and depression, and they're not happy in their lives. And if you hear my dogs, those are my 2 puppies that are just going crazy downstairs. Okay, so you need to figure out, what is it that energizes you? Is it empowering people? Is it service? Is it helping families get out of a rut? Is it missions? Like, for me, it's missions. That is my life goal. That's my ultimate goal. I want to go on a mission trip every single month of my life with my entire family. I want to be able to hop on a plane and go to a different country and walk into a village and turn it upside down, not only for Jesus, but to truly help people there with clean water, with technology to be able to call places, to use the internet, with skills to be able to change their lives and provide for their families. Maybe it's helping them bring seed and have a garden to provide for their family. Like, that is what energizes me. When I think about everything that I am doing today, am I walking toward my lifelong dream of going into the world and sharing Jesus while making a real, tangible impact? Am I doing every single day something that's going to get me closer to that goal? And you got to think about what it is that I want. What is it that you want, right, to do for the rest of your life? What is your lifelong goal? Are you doing things every single day to get there, to get closer, just one step closer? to that goal. And if you're not, you don't have a lot of time. Okay, I know that people think like, oh, 35 years old, it's so young and whatever. I get that. But when you think about how life is so fleeting and it happens so quickly, you really don't have that much time. Like you keep telling yourself 35 is so young, 40 is so young, to continue to procrastinate into doing things that you truly want to do because you're thinking, what is so-and-so going to say? What is so-and-so going to think? And that stops you from getting to the next level, right? So what fills your tank? If your tank is full, you feel energized, so you work out of inspiration. If your tank is empty, okay, then you feel depleted, which turns into fear, anxiety, depression, which you start working out of desperation, which a lot of network marketers, by the way, are working out of complete desperation online. And this is what is ruining the network marketing profession. People just messaging people out of nowhere with this fake messages of, hey girl, I think you would be great at da-da-da. Would you like to look at another stream of income? Like you have no interest in actually adding value to someone else's life. You're just interested in them buying something from you. That is the most selfish thing anybody could do. But you know what coaches are doing? They turn that around. They use psychology on you and they're like, no, you're offering them like the opportunity of a lifetime. They should be so thankful. So thankful. Like, are we not smart enough? Like, do you think we're that dumb? At some point in time, I truly believe with all my heart that network marketing was a vehicle that was created by Almighty God to give the freedom to the families that needed it, to be able to stay home and raise their kids, to be able to live life differently and come up from oppression. But it was a gift that people did not know what to do with, because the mindset of man, by just the rule of law, the mindset of man is give me, give me, give me, do for me, me. The mindset of man is not to give, which is a shame because our Creator gave. Right? Scripture says, for God so loved the world that he gave. It does not say, for God so loved the world that he took. For God so loved the world that he gave. So what is it that you're going to do that's going to change the industry around? The simplest way to figure out what you want to do in life or who you are is to find out what energizes you. That is the simplest way for you to figure out what is it that you want to do in life, and who you are is to figure out what energizes you. And like I said, it's not fleeting energy, it's the soul stuff that is going to make a lasting impact, okay? Once you find your passion, you find your purpose. I'm going to say that again. Once you find your passion, because you figure out what energizes you, then you find your purpose. Passion and purpose go hand in hand. Purpose is, how do I do more of the thing that energizes me? I'm going to say that again. Your purpose is, how do I do more of the things that energize me? For example, network marketing did not energize me. Like, let's just put it all out there, right? Let's just be honest. Network marketing did not energize me. The business itself didn't energize me. It drained the life out of me. But the end goal is what energized me. Sometimes you have to do things that do not energize you because the end result does. So don't go through life thinking, I'm only going to do things that energize me, and like all the difficult things, first of all, you're never going to feel ever like doing things that are difficult. Like the feeling is not going to be there. Like you're not going to wake up and be like, I am so excited to step out of my comfort zone today and do things that I've never done before and that are super scary. Like I'm just going to do it all today. That's what I'm doing today. Okay? Like that's not the way that the human mind works. So, what is the end goal? Is and the calling that we have. Am I going to have to do some things that are really difficult along the way to get to that end goal that I want? Yes. The problem is that if network marketing did not align with the end goal that I have for my life that energizes me, like living a free life that I can go on missions, then I'm not doing the thing. The end goal of what you're doing needs to match your purpose and your calling and your passion in order for you to do the hard thing, because the outcome is going to be worth doing the hard thing. How can I make a living by pursuing my passion? This is how you monetize your passion. So what did I do to make it a lot easier for me to completely rock network marketing in the 4.5 years I was in it? I figured out what energized me. What energized me was giving, was creating content. I have a very creative mind. So if I'm doing like very left brain things, is it left brain, right brain, left? No, if I'm doing right brain stuff, no, right brain. Doesn't matter. Anywho, if I'm doing stuff that's very like analytical all the time, I'm going to burn out because that's not working out of my gifts. My gifts is creative. I am a creative person. So I figured out, how am I going to create? How am I going to add value? How am I going to give back? Because that is the human being that I am and the human being that I want to become. And that's how network marketing became so much easier for me. Because I started working within my gifts and my abilities. So I know that some of you are going to say, I don't know what energizes me. I don't know what my purpose is. And that is a lie. Just so you know. Like, I'm just going to call you out on that one. That's a lie. You either decided you can't have it, okay? You're not smart enough. You don't know yourself enough. See, you're in a relationship with yourself. You're learning about yourself daily. And here's the reality, that some of you have been mom for so long, have worn so many different hats, chef and taxi and, you know, whatever, dad or soccer coach, whatever hats you're wearing on a daily basis, there's very few people that actually understand what their calling and what their passion is, because they don't know themselves. Like, they got so lost along the way in all these things that they're doing that they don't know themselves anymore. And this is where people get lost, and they don't understand their passion anymore, and they don't understand their calling, because they don't spend time trying to figure out through self-development to become the best version they can of themselves, so they can figure out what your passion, your calling, and your purpose is. So I'm going to leave you with this. I have 2 questions for you that I want you to ask yourself in order to figure out what your passion, your purpose, and your calling is, okay? So if you took money off the table, money was not an issue, okay? Number 1, if you didn't care about what anyone thought and their expectations of you, and money was not an issue, what would you be doing? What is it that you would be doing? And number 2, who do you look at and say, man, that is the life that I want to live? We're not talking in an envious way. We're talking in an inspirational way. Who do you look at and say, that is the life that I want to live? Well, figure out how they got there and start learning. Because right now you have the world at your fingertips. You literally have the entire world on your fingertips. You have Google, you have YouTube. Like, you have everything that you need to figure out how to do the thing that you want to do. You just need to get out there and get it done, right? But there's a lot of limiting beliefs that are getting in your way of doing what you want to do. Once you encounter those limiting beliefs and you change your mindset and you rewire your mindset, then opportunities start opening up for you, because your mindset is the most powerful tool that you can ever have to walk in your purpose and to fulfill your destiny, right? So I teach all of this and more in my community, my content creators community that I have. I teach network marketers how to leverage social media. I teach business owners. We have realtors in there, how to leverage social media to create a brand and how to create content. Because content creators are the ones that are becoming influencers. Content creators are the ones that are changing the way that social media is done, and those are the ones that are seeing the success. Most people are not seeing success that are in network marketing through social media, okay? And the more that you're going to message people and the more that you're going to do that nonsense, the more you're going to see that you're not going to have success. And eventually what's going to start happening is that those accounts are going to be removed for spam. And all the hard work that you've put for so many years to building your social media presence is going to be gone. And that is what really annoys me the most about coaches out there that are talking about messaging people, and like their whole platform of social media is how to spam people. It is the craziest thing I have ever seen. So if you want to be entered the giveaway to give you full access to my training site, make sure that you share this, comment below that you shared. And then I'm going to put my website below so you can join. It's $21 a month. I could have been charging a lot more, but number one, I don't need the money. Number two, God said that that's what it needed to be in order to help more people get to the place that I was able to get to with the insights that I call them heavenly downloads that he's given me, because a lot of my marketing ideas have come from him, and I take no credit for that. He is the creator. Like, how does one get creative ideas, like the most world-changing creative ideas there are? You get them from the creator, right? Which, since some people that don't have that kind of relationship with God, that may seem a little crazy too, but hey, we're here. I have receipts, okay? I have over 60 pieces of viral content. I think it's like 65 by now, because for 2 weeks I had two pieces of viral content. I have so many people in my community creating viral content. Like, it is just craziness to watch how amazing they're doing, because they're being taught something that is not being taught out there. And I tried, tested all of it for 4.5 years. I had insane success, like network marketing unicorn, right? But it's really not, because I've been able to teach that to other people, which is the most empowering for me, right? Empowerment for me is to let people find out what their brand is, what their gifts and talents and abilities are, and just propel them to the next level, propel them to go out there and be true to themselves and find their tribe, okay? I don't teach vanilla stuff. I'm not interested in being vanilla. I'm not interested in being politically correct. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in people finding out what they're really good at and what they're passionate about, and sharing it with the world unapologetically, because that is what the world responds to today, is vulnerability, is being real, is being genuine in a world of just absolute fakeness, right? So I love you guys. I'll post the site below so you can check it out, read the testimonials, read my journey, and join if you want to be a part of our tribe. Have an amazing day. Thank you guys.